do people deserve to be called fascists if they act like fascists and think like fascists? Possibly yes.
News. London Transport say they may have to close the underground system due to an infestation of horses.
They start running away from the train.
And what the drivers say they fear most of all is a head-on collision with a blind tube man.
What's up, YouTube? Hello, plunk dunkers. It's me. I'm back. Blind tube mare in the house. I'm low-key doing it. Bear. Oh, I'm so bare. My kids hate it when I try and talk like them. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, hit the notifications button. Of course, leave a comment below. That is very important. And sunny and share. And in a week when Donald Trump was cowed by a communist.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you. I appreciate it. Please. I appreciated the meeting with the president, and as he said, it was a productive meeting focused on a place of shared admiration and love, which is New York City, and the need to deliver affordability to.
I'm going to be looking at GB News. They've just dropped a new documentary, like a big steaming turd from a gorilla's ass. It's called They're Getting Ready for War. Ex-Antifa reveals inside the far left documentary. Well, I say documentary. It's a propaganda film about the far left. So let's see how dangerous the far left are and dive straight in to this.
I guess resist how you want to resist is what I would say.
Even through killing?
I don't know. I don't think we're at that stage yet, but I hope we don't get there. I hope we're able to do things democratically and peacefully. But
there may be a stage.
There may be a stage where we need to get more aggressive with resisting fascism.
And that's your opening gambit, is it? That was chilling and terrifying. A man with glasses and fluffy dyed hair saying that maybe might have to kill people in maybe, I don't know. I mean, we're the left wing. We're really dangerous. I promise. Let's see.
In recent years, America has seen a wave of far-left violence.
They talk about acts of violence, they talk about guns or going to gun ranges, and it scares me.
The murder of Charlie Kirk.
And yet right of center, very prominent people, from the president and Elon on down, treated it like the first shot fired in the Civil War. Totally irresponsible, totally dishonest. I mean, these people were arsonists pretending to be firefighters.
The shooting at an ice facility in Texas, attempts on Donald Trump's life, and the killing of a healthcare CEO.
So the guy who tried to assassinate Trump the first time was a Republican. So he wasn't really far left as far as we can tell. And Charlie Kirk, we don't really still know much about that person.
Across the country, radical activists claim they're fighting fascism.
There's no political violence coming from the left, frankly.
What about Charlie Kirk's death?
Well,
but their war is increasingly against ordinary Americans. My name is Stephen Edgington, and in this film for GB News, I explore the rise of far-left extremism.
Oh, Stephen Edgington. He's like Louis Theroux with all the personality drained out of him. He's Edgington. Edgington. I'm Edgington, Stephen. Let's watch.
I began by speaking with a former member of Antifa, the principal organisation pushing far-left activism and, in some cases, violence.
Even though Antifa aren't really an actual proper organisation.
Antifa is a movement that is making headlines throughout Canada, Germany, the United Kingdom, and most especially the United States. With Antifa regularly making the news, people are now asking, what is Antifa and what are Antifa's goals?
Were you once in Antifa?
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't call myself like Antifa's strongest soldier.
When I first saw this, I thought, I'll have a look and try and work out who these people are they're talking to. Andrew. So there's no way of looking up who he is, if he's biased, if he's this, if he's that. So it's not very helpful.
Or I'm going to giant Antifa conspiracy meetings, but it's I think that as far as May Day is a holiday in Seattle where Antifa often shows a presence. So I've participated in that, whether it's protests or marches.
Dancing round the maypole. And murdering fascists.
Dressed in all black, wearing a mask.
Have you ever heard anyone explicitly say they're going to kill someone or they think it's justified to attack someone because they're a fascist, for example?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's whether it's people deserve to die, they have no human rights. It's calling someone a Nazi or a fascist. It's a way to just dehumanize them. You can do whatever to them. You can assault them. It's funny to them. They laugh.
The thing is, the far right call people names as well, don't they? Quite particularly nasty names. But they do it based on what they look like and their DNA, their genetics, and their race. We're all the same race, obviously. So calling someone a Nazi because they have ideas that are similar to the Nazis, it's apples and oranges, isn't it? Apples and oranges, mate.
They don't kill you because you're a fascist. They call you a fascist so they can kill you. It's just a way to dehumanize people and threaten them. Originally, they were trying to bully and threaten what they would consider right-wing extremists, like Proud Boys or Christian nationalists, that show up to protests or events. They're bullying them. That's not...
They're fair game, really. Take a few out.
The target anymore. Now the target is anyone that doesn't agree with them. Socially, when I'm not at a meeting, I'm just hanging out with people that I know, more and more they talk about acts of violence, they talk about guns or going to gun ranges, and the shit scares me.
You're an American. People talking about going to gun ranges and talking about guns. That's like British people talking about the weather.
Why do you think some of these people that you know are arming themselves and going to gun ranges and so on?
They feel as though they're under threat. Well, we're going to be genocided or put in prison, or Nazis have taken over America, and so we have to act now to stop it.
How did we go from here to here?
I think you could say I'm a fascist.
Yeah, I am.
From weaponizing the media.
We are fighting the fake news.
To mass deportations.
You don't need to do this.
These are all calculated steps in a pattern we have seen before.
That kind of rhetoric and those ideas, do you feel that it's kind of like a radicalization or self-radicalization, almost akin to, let's say, an Islamist group?
How is this different than a group like ISIS? It's
yes, true. But how is far right any different to ISIS? They radicalise online. They strongly hold religious beliefs and constantly use religion as a justification for what they're doing. It's all the same thing. The far left, as it exists, which I guess it does exist, is no better than the far right. But seems to me maybe not quite as much as of a threat. It's just my bias.
You know, you create this, echo chamber, like this social group. You're not allowed to talk to any outsiders. If you interact with anyone who isn't part of the group or who thinks differently, then you're out. You're canceled, you're untrustworthy, or worse, now you're a Nazi.
Do you worry that some of the rhetoric coming from senior Democrats and some of the media describing Donald Trump as a Nazi, describing the Republicans as fascists, is radicalizing some people towards the kind of violence that you're talking about?
They do share a lot of the attributes of fascists, though, don't they? Especially Trump and his regime. Let's have a look.
A dramatic return to power after political exile. Both capitalized on feelings of mass unrest as well as outsider narratives for a reinvigorating return. Germany had Hindenburg. America had Biden. Backed into a corner, Hindenburg agreed to appoint Hitler as chancellor.
New this morning, President Trump's sweeping new travel ban is now in effect.
Trump's rhetoric targeting Muslims, Latinos, and immigrants has normalized xenophobia and political scapegoating. And just as Hitler rejected the Treaty of Versailles, Trump has dismissed NATO, NAFTA, the Paris Accord, virtually any deal not branded Trump, leveraging economic instability for political gain. In the wake of World War I, Germany's hyperinflation created the necessary conditions for extremist sentiments to bubble up. Employment of propaganda and fake news.
With an able assist from an astute student of human psychology, Dr. Joseph Goebbels.
Both Adolf Hitler and Donald Trump share the dubious distinction of having mastered the new media of their time to shape public opinion and vilify opposition. Their respective friend groups. He tends to praise autocrats like Russia's Vladimir Putin, China's Xi Jinping, and Hungary's Viktor Orbán. History witnessed something similar in the lead-up to World War II when Adolf Hitler wrote admiring letters to Italian dictator Benito Mussolini.
What I'd like to see Canada become our 51st state. We give them protection, military protection.
Targeting, oddly enough, Canada and Greenland. These gestures echoed a far darker precedent. Adolf Hitler's 1938 Anschluss, the annexation of Austria.
That is what caused it. So the Democratic leadership, it's like, whether it's like when Kamala was running, just, dead saying, well, yeah, Trump is a fascist. But, the Democrats, they just constantly pouring gasoline on it and just normalizing, this language, which, has a lot of consequences. It scares people. That's what it does.
Well, there's language being normalized on both sides, isn't there? Very much so.
When you have, like these respected leaders, they're scaring shit out of, ordinary people, especially young people, and they feel as though, they're under threat, that their lives are in danger, and it's actually not true.
I think, I sort of agree that just scaring people. And, I've been scared. I'm sure most moderate, liberal people, especially in America, but even here, have this fear of the far right and fear of violence and being picked on and discriminated ourselves. So I agree with that. But the difference is, again, this is really... It's interesting they didn't do this in the UK. They did this in the US because it's far easier to probably pivot and show or pivot and try to demonstrate that the far left is a threat in the US because it's already been posited publicly by Trump.
I like the fish.
And his lot. But actually, the power is with the right, isn't it, at the moment? ICE are literally a sort of stormtrooper force.
Do they think a civil war is coming?
For sure. They probably feel like we're in it right now, and they have to be stopped no matter what the cost is. And the cost is, the country in chaos, where like political assassinations and murder is just okay.
In Portland, Oregon, the city's ICE facility has faced nightly protests and riots for months. There, I met an independent journalist to show me what's happening on the ground.
Great to meet you. Hi. I'm Stephen.
Chelly.
Honey Badger Mum, who is actually somebody called C.K. Bufarash, a.k.a. Honey Badger Mum, on X. This woman could be a bit biased.
Okay, so we're here outside the ICE building, and you've done a lot of reporting here. Should we go and have a look and see what's happening?
Yes, I think we should go check it out.
So they've written this slogan, look up.
If she's a journalist, I'm Nicholas Witchell.
And see American Gestapo.
Yes. Go ahead.
And fascists. I mean, this is the kind of language that they're using.
Oh, yes. They absolutely
Disgusting.
compare ICE agents and anybody that opposes them to the Gestapo.
And do you think that that kind of language...
They're literally dragging people off and sending them to camps. I mean, you know, it's not that much of a stretch to call them the Gestapo. They are sort of behaving like the Gestapo.
Language around fascism and Nazis and Gestapo, does that lead to the violence? Because if that really
absolutely.
is true, then that justifies killing them in a way.
Yes. Oh, no, it absolutely. That's the purpose of the language. And you can see it in the crowd. I walked up last Saturday, and I have to have a bodyguard or I can't do this work anymore. I've been assaulted several times. When we walked up, someone got on a megaphone and said about me to this crowd of 100 people, there's a right-wing agitator. She's a Nazi. And the whole mood of the crowd became sinister. And
Wow.
I immediately had to walk out in a way to just kind of calm that down.
Let's just stop that there. We will do more of this. I'll do another part, another few parts maybe, if people seem interested. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, hit the notifications button. Of course, leave a comment below. That is very important. And Sunny, and share. Yeah, interesting first part, really. Do people deserve to be called fascists if they act like fascists and think like fascists? Possibly yes, is the obvious answer. Do people deserve to be called black, bleep, or the P word, the N word, just because of how they were born? No. So that's my main argument so far. And yeah, I think that's fairly straightforward, isn't it? Let's see what this video kicks up for us as we go through. But that's part one. Thanks for watching, and don't nobody go nowhere.